Yo, what's poppin'? It's Tommathan. We have some official roster moves as well as some leaks to go over. So starting here, we have the Hangzhou Spark ending joint negotiations with both Alpha Yi and Irony. I don't know what their long-term plans for either of these players were, but to me, it just seems like they're not going to fit the mold they want to move into, especially if they are going full Chinese, as was leaked earlier in the offseason before, APAC kind of blew up and there was a big question mark thing with the licensing. Um, Now, I still think that's going to hold because if any team is going to continue to spend money in APAC, it's going to be the Hangzhou Sparks. They have Billy Bucks. They can do what they want, right? So I don't know if it's going to fit because right now there are only 4 players currently on their team that they haven't announced anyone leaving or anything like that. Is Shy, Pineapple, Gushue, and Super Rich, all of which are Chinese. Of course, Irony and Alpha Yi are both Korean. So I just don't think they're going to fit the mold that they want. In terms of the actual players, Alpha Yi had an absolutely monstrous first half, right? Second half kind of fell off a cliff, but I still think he'll be able to find his way onto a pretty good team for the most part. I would expect him to make somewhere in the mid level. I don't know, mid high, mid low, somewhere like that, because the potential he has, he's shown in contenders, he's shown at the beginning of this season. He just doesn't fall off a cliff, and he is a very, very high caliber flex DPS player. At Arlon0740 did not expect that to be the app. But yeah, Alpha E, bit more of an interesting player. I think there should be some teams interested in him. And it's like the potential that he has versus maybe what his market value is right now after his, disappointing end to the season is probably worth it for a lot of teams that want to try and punch up a little bit. Now, I don't know, maybe some teams are like, I don't care about that he fell off, or I don't care that he was good. Who knows? I think Alpha E will still be in the league. As for Irony, not as certain. Flux support is a very competitive role. There are a lot of good Korean Flux supports in contenders that could come up, such as Simple, Babel, Half. You can keep going. There's a lot of stuff there. So not sure if Irony finds any. Maybe he weasels his way onto a lower level team, but I don't think he was extremely impressive. He was average at best, I would say, this season, and tragic at worst. With his Brigida in the Summer Showdown was maybe the worst one that was fielded constantly, even whenever you consider Sawson and stuff like that. So, not great. Then we go over to the Washington Justice, who have announced Get Amazed as their GM and head coach. He has complete control of the team. Now, earlier in Season 5, whenever Washington was going through their big thing, they said there were leaks that they were going to get Team Peps. Now, Get Amazed does have links to Team Peps. He played, well, he was on the team as a player, but he was the coach, right? He was the coach of the team. So I think that Washington going EU does make more sense, continues to make sense. There's rumors of Sky Reaper going somewhere, Psycho going somewhere. Players like that could end up on Washington. FD God is another name. Just look at Team Pep's roster. You can picture them on Washington pretty easily. So Get Amazed is very well, highly considered, I guess is the term. He's very well known, highly praised, I guess, as a coach. And most people are surprised if he's not an Owl this season. He was like, why is Get Amazed not here? Like, what's going on? So I think this is a good signing. We'll see what they do with their roster, which isn't, as star-studded as some other Washington rosters have been, but Washington have never really made it up to that part. So he's trying to kind of turn over a new leaf for the franchise here. And you know what? I rate it. I think this is a good signing. Then we have the Houston Outlaws officially departing with Merit. This is big. Merit was one of the best hit scans this entire season on the Sojourn. Even on the Soldier, he was extremely good. So for him to not be with Houston anymore is kind of a blow. Now, the flip side of that, Houston is looking to get Happy Shoe and Skewed. So if that's the cost of getting Shoe Skewed, is to trade Merit for Happy, which is probably a side grade. I think Merit might have a little bit more potential, but Happy is by no means, a weak player. He can be on a championship roster, I think. So who knows what Houston's doing? They've also been linked to, as the comment says, Smurf, Spectra, Kellen, a bunch of players. So Houston's looking scary. Basically, if you get Shu, any team that gets Shu, move him up really high because Shu is still that guy. He is that guy, undoubtedly. I like skewed with him. I think he pairs extremely well. It just works. It just works. Now, obviously, not obvious because you can have an opinion that you'd rather have Happy than Merit. I think I'd rather have Merit, but it's close. It is close. Happy, maybe they trust him to be better on, you know, Widowmaker or things like that. Who knows what they have their goals for there. But anyway, that's basically it. Houston's looking scary. I'm very interested to see where Merrick goes. He should be going to a tippy top teams. He should be going to a San Francisco Shock. He fits the O2 thing. I could see a Shock pickup. He could pull up. I don't know where else he could go. Dallas, maybe. I don't know. Dallas might not be spending. There's been some weird stuff about Dallas. Who knows what they're doing? I don't know. I want him to be on an absolute banger team because he deserves it after that performance. In his rookie season, he deserves it. So yeah, that's basically it. Let me know your thoughts on the moves. How good do you think Houston's going to be? What does this mean for them? What are your thoughts on Washington and Hangzhou Spark? Full Chinese? Dub? L? The dub. They get leave. But yeah. So yeah, have yourself a good one. Deuces.